Ah, shit.
This episode of the BRG podcast has been brought to you by our patrons. Here at BRG, we'd like to thank those patrons who have subscribed and donated. It is because of generosity like yours that makes this show possible.
Hey everybody, wanted to get a chance to post one last video here. For anybody who doesn't actually follow the Twitch channel, you may not know, we actually did a final episode for the podcast. Things have come up in our lives, and unfortunately, I don't have the capacity to keep on with the podcast, and so we wanted to say goodbye. However, the Twitch stream went horribly wrong. My ability to stream just went down the tubes, and my internet sucks. So we didn't end up uploading that video. That's why last week didn't end up coming up. So we decided to go ahead and do a special goodbye video just to upload to YouTube, so you guys knew what happened. So that's what it is, and it's unfortunate to say this. Both me and Kirok feel awful bad about it, but yeah. For me, it's just a matter of got a lot of life things going on, and I just don't have the capacity to keep up the podcast, and we don't really have anybody who can replace me. So I don't really have, at this point. So I don't have the ability to go on. And Kirok, I'll let you explain your end of it.
Yeah, so I mean, first off, more than anything, you have life things going on, and there's no shame in that. Like, you do what you need to do. If you need to step away, that's awesome. Warp did ask me, he goes, hey, do you want to continue it on your own? Do you want to look for someone? And when I had to answer the question for myself, most of it was, would I want to do this podcast without Warped? And the answer to that was simply no. On top of that, finding someone else, I'm sure we could, but I would expect a lot from them, just like Warped has from me. And it takes a bit of work to do this podcast. It takes a bit of work rounding up the news each week, putting it in a format that we can then present to you guys as you're watching the show. On top of that, I had fun putting together the videos for the game releases, and that was, another thing. So I don't know
which are really fucking good, by the way.
But thanks. But I don't know if there would have been someone there, in BRG, outside of BRG. How long would I have to keep looking to find someone that's right? Like, in the end, I was looking at it as I wouldn't be able to do this on my own with Warped leaving. So I basically said no, and that was it. So
yeah, it's tough. Doing a weekly podcast is very challenging, and not like hard challenging, just time consuming.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time. We spend a lot of time digging through. We parse the news, find stories that might be interesting, take time to read the stories and learn about them. Just that aspect alone can be a few hours in itself, just collecting and reading and so on. And then this whole aspect of, like I said, Kirok, goes the extra mile to bring you the game releases, which I love to death. And that takes a lot of time. He's got to go through and look up all the games being released that week, and then find stock footage for the background and come up with some notes on the game to let you know what it's about, what it is, where it's coming on to, etc. It's a lot of time spent for it, and to go through and have to try and do all of that, and on top of that, have to try to do all the other things that I was doing in terms of basically the other half of the news. We had to find topic ideas.
Not only that, you were the one who was basically getting in touch with other podcasts, inviting guests onto the show. And I mentioned this during the actual last week's episode, the one that didn't get recorded correctly, or Twitch was being all whatever. And that's not an easy feat in itself, right? So, yeah. So, I mean, at this point, it's a necessity, and then a necessity meaning that Warped has to step away for, reasons that are real life reasons. In the end, it's a hobby. We're having fun. It doesn't mean we can't do it again. In the future, maybe something changes, something's open, something's available. Who knows?
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is that life always changes. And I want to be clear here. We really enjoy doing this. We've never had a big following. We never made any money out of it. This has been for enjoyment, and we have enjoyed it. It's been very fun. 2.5 years plus now. It has been an absolutely fun run. It's been a success in that I've gotten out of it what I look to get out of it, which was to learn from it. I've gained skills in editing and learning how to use the Adobe Premiere, getting a chance to meet new people, getting a chance to know Kirrok really well. So it's definitely been a success in that regard. So there's no, I'm sad that we're not going to be doing it anymore, but there definitely is no failure here. We had our time with it. It's been wonderful. And as Kirrok said, it's not to say that this is the end. It is ending for now. We have no idea if it'll ever come back. I have no idea if it'll come back with different people.
That's true.
I don't know. I do not know. But it is definitely not going to be. You're definitely not going to see us next week or going forward, at least for now. And like I said, I felt that we owed everybody an explanation so that they knew what was up. Like I said, it's nothing bad. It literally is just I have so much going on in my life that something had to give. And unfortunately, because this is a hobby, a very loved hobby, but a hobby nonetheless, it had to be the one to break. So
yeah, I gotcha.
That's the way it had to go. So yeah, that's basically that's it, guys. I'm I'm really, really sorry. My ideal would have been to have more of a heads up and have a big shebang at the end. Last week we tried to do it on the live stream. It was kind of hard for me because I'm still processing it, and it was very surreal, I guess. And it sounds silly. It's just a podcast. It had a very small following, but there was a lot of love and love ever put into it. And to see any kind of thing end can be a rough thing.
Oh,
so, yeah. So big thank you to everybody who's been a part of the podcast. Big thank you for people who have participated in some manner, whether they've been guests on our show, whether they've been people who've contributed to our show in terms of helping out with editing, sending us articles to add to our rundown. And, of course, a really big thank you to everybody who's ever clicked on the video, taken some time to watch, give us a like, give us feedback. It's been an absolute treat. We weren't a big name show, so we cherished what input we ever got. It was really, really nice, and we really, really loved getting any sort of feedback from people, because it was fun to hear back from people, or they give us constructive criticism, which helped us a lot. So I really do appreciate that. And of course, I want to give a really, really big special thank you to Kirrok here, because he came on board and I pretty much dumped a huge load of wants and wishes and whatnot. And, BRG, or the podcast 2.0, the new format, the layout, the art and all that, that was all Kirrok's handiwork. He listened to me and interpreted my gibberish into something that was tangible. And going from there, it's been me and him side by side, making decisions and altering it as we go. So thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
I really do.
Anytime.
So anyways, guys, again, thank you so much. We don't know what's in the future. That said, please remember, it's just the podcast that's ending. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of BRG either. BRG is a thriving community. We've got a lot of great people that I really, really encourage you go over and check out. You can go over to ballrocketgaming.com and find everything you need to know about us there. All of the links to our Discord, to our Twitch, to our YouTube, to everything is there on that main page. There's also a donations page where you can donate money if you want to give to the cause. Yes, the podcast is going away, but we still have the community. The community does things like right now we're doing a summer sale giveaway for Steam Summer Sale. You join the Discord, you jump into that channel, and they have you do funny things, and you can get entered to win free games. What's better than cheap games? Free games. Also, the other show that we have is the Effective Discourse. It's the show basically took the main topic out of this show and expands on it in a roundtable format. We talk in depth about a topic. I am leaving that show as well, but Kirok Component Z are carrying on. The show is still going.
Yep, that show will keep on going. Yep.
Yeah, so I definitely encourage you guys, make sure you if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe or follow on YouTube and Twitch, so you guys can keep that kind of content coming, as well as the other content that we put out. We do have another show that's hosted by Ziploc Bob and Zez called Sequel Syndrome. Does a lot of really good explanative type topics where they talk about where something came from or what the history is behind it, things like that. It's a really fun show, really cool to check out. So definitely make sure you hang on to those. And of course, I will end up showing up on Defective Discourse now and then, and I'm always around the BRG community chatting and whatnot. So make sure you get over there if you want to stay connected. That is the best way to do it. If you have a void where this podcast was, then my recommendation to you is two different things you can look into. One is Des and Fox. Des and Fox are cool guys. They do a lot of gameplay video, but they do have a podcast. It's a more generalized podcast. It's more just along the lines of media. They could be talking about comic books. They could be talking about movies.
Yeah, they're
they could be talking about games. They're absolutely a trip to listen to. And my favorite podcast of all that I definitely encourage you guys roll over to and start watching on a regular basis is the Team Chat podcast. They are fantastic people. They have really great in-depth thought on the topics they talk about, and they're not just news. They'll have a little bit of news bites in there, but they have a lot of different topic elements. They're doing their top 10 games of all time.
Yeah.
They're breaking it down to 3 segments. So they've done 10 to 7, then they'll do 6 to 4, and then 3 to 1. And they don't just say, this is what it is. They spend an hour to really wedge out
deep. Yeah.
Yeah. What they why they think that this is there on their top 10 list in the slot that they've picked for. So please head over to Team Chat Podcast and tell them, hey, BRG on their way out mentioned you guys, so I wanted to check you out. Let them know we sent you. So yeah, there you go, guys. It is a close of a chapter. We'll see what the future holds. If it ever comes back, we'll make sure to scream it and shout it from everywhere, from our Twitch and Twitter and Discord channel and all of that. But like I said, because of everything that's going on right now, because of the way life is, we couldn't give you a solid, we'll be back in 6 months or whatever. And I didn't want to do that to you. So we're just going to say thank you so much, and goodbye for now.
Goodbye for now.
Oh, shit.